Starting a business is hard. Staying in business is even harder. Here are some stories from our members on the Southside. My name is Al Ariola Jr., President and CEO for the South San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. We are pleased to present our podcast, The Business. Welcome back, Chamber family and friends, to the Business Podcast hosted by your South San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. I am Al Ariola Jr., President and CEO, and today we are joined by Vanessa Martinez and Jesse Campos. So they're from two businesses, but they're here to talk about the newest, Tandem.
Yes.
That's correct. I got
That's
that right.
Correct.
I'm excited about it. It's on Roosevelt, kind of near Riverside, or it's on Riverside.
It's right at the corner of Roosevelt and
Riverside.
Yeah.
You want to? So I don't want to steal your shine here. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves first? Let's start with you, Vanessa. You're from the area?
So I'm from the Southside.
Gotcha.
I do come from the Highland Park area.
Uh-huh.
I went to Highland Park Elementary, went to Davis Middle School for a multilingual program, and then came back to Brack. So kind of grew up in the area. My grandparents lived on Flores and Sayers area.
Okay.
So kind of all between, I always consider Flores and Gevers like my cutoff streets.
Sure.
So from, west to east. But yeah, so I'm definitely from the side of town. Luchador, my mechanic was on West Highland right at Roosevelt. So I've always been right across the street at Luchador because my family mechanic was
And she went
there.
to Brack.
And she went to Brack. Okay.
Yeah.
And you, Jesse?
Oh, so I'm from the south side.
Uh-huh.
Commercial, Pleasanton, right in between right there. I went to McCullum. I have two brothers and a sister that we all grew up together. And I went to St. Cecilia's, which is right around the corner from Luchador Bar.
Okay.
So we're really from that area.
Sure. Well, so you guys grew up friends, or how did you guys?
We did.
We met in high school.
Yeah,
Okay.
we met in high school.
And so we were high school friends.
I gotcha. And so, I mean, did you guys already have plans as high school kids? You were to be entrepreneurs? I mean, like, how
No,
did
it
this
just actually
happen?
came. So we had a mutual friend that wanted us to get into business together with him.
Okay.
And so we went ahead and were provided that opportunity. And
What were
we
y'all
decided,
doing before?
I work at AT&T.
Yeah, and I am a human resources
And so
manager.
you still have your day jobs.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but you're entrepreneurs on the side, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this business opportunity that you guys are talking about was Luchador?
It was Luchador.
Okay.
And so we were provided the opportunity with a mutual friend. That mutual friend brought in Billy Mendoza, who is our third partner.
Okay.
That mutual friend of all of ours exited the business, and so now Billy, Jesse, and I are the partners.
So I don't want to dwell too much on 2020.
Yeah.
Because obviously for a reason you guys had to shut your doors down for
We
the
did.
most part.
Yes.
But your doors are open again?
So we opened on Friday.
Okay.
We are at 75% capacity, but we're
75.
trying to keep it a little bit more spaced out
Sure.
than that.
And we do have a patio now
And
on
we
the
do
outside.
have
I saw
a
that.
brand
That's
new
really
patio
nice.
on the outside.
It looks nice.
Yeah,
I'll be posting
thanks.
some more pictures of
Jesse
it.
did a really,
Thank you.
he did a lot of work on
Yeah.
This
that.
was on with your own hands, huh?
He was,
A lot
it's
of
his
it,
pet
yeah.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what an entrepreneur does
Yeah.
sometimes, right? You got to
Yeah.
measure your costs and see if this makes sense, especially right now that there
Right.
are no revenue streams that are coming in the door like crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I got to commend you guys. Most folks didn't have that or I guess that convenience to say. I know that it wasn't easy. How about that?
No.
It wasn't.
And I'm sure you maybe even went back and forth on.
No, in March, we decided pretty quickly that we needed to close. It wasn't best for the community to stay open,
Sure.
and it wasn't best for our employees.
So
We
you were
were-
already doing that before people were telling you to do that.
We
We were the
closed-
first ones to close, I think.
We closed, I believe I came back March 8th from Chicago.
Okay.
March 13th, I think, was that Sunday, and I think by March 15th we were done.
Yeah.
And so we had gone ahead and we closed. We gave all of the employees a 2-week stipend, and then we raised funds for them via GoFundMe. So they had about a month or
Yeah.
6 weeks worth of salary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was comparable to their tips and their wages.
Uh-huh.
But we also were really, really fortunate, and we really want to thank Gil, our landlord, because he decreased our rent dramatically
Gil.
so that we would be able to stay in
A lot
operation.
of people can't say that, right?
Exactly.
A lot of them have
No.
good landlords like that.
No.
Well, you guys have done a number on that building too. It looks incredible. What
Thank you.
you've done with
Thank
the
you.
facade and the artwork inside and outside, the patio area too. It is in my neighborhood, so I can't wait to visit again.
Yeah.
You guys are puppy friendly, right?
Yes, we are.
Puppy. Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah, we
pretty sure
are.
I bring my dudes.
All puppies,
Those
all
are-
day
that's,
long.
That's my only crew. I only got 2 little furry ones. Those are my homies. But no, I can't wait to be there again. You guys used to also make some signature drinks. Am I right about that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we're
Yeah, I
bringing
think we're gonna
them
make some
back.
more. Yeah, we're gonna make more.
So now
We do have
kind
a
of
margarita machine.
Yeah.
So Billy is going to make signature syrups,
frozen drinks.
and
Gotcha.
frozen margaritas.
Mhm.
Get it
those
back
are
out there.
Getting back,
Yeah.
back to it.
So we'll
gonna
get
be fun.
back to it, but it what we wanted to do first was open
Mhm.
and see how that went, and
Yeah.
that's been okay.
Well, simultaneously, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast here, you went into partnership with another group of folks,
Yes.
Mhm.
and you guys have now started Tandem.
Yeah.
So, as if you guys wasn't challenged
Mhm.
enough, right? Let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk
Let's
about your
do
partner?
2 businesses in a
Oh my
pandemic.
God! It was like, hey, you know what? Let's do all this during a
Yeah.
pandemic.
How did
This is
this-
gonna be fun.
How did this come about, though? Another
So-
friend approach, or
Well, this one was a little different.
You
It was
instigator?
me.
You're the
Yes, I
instigator?
am. Yeah, remember me?
Sort of.
Whatever.
So
She was
you
getting
know,
mad at me. She was like, "We cannot do a second one." Yes, we can.
So it was so Sarah Breseno Garish, who
Yes,
is
I'm very
big
familiar
on
with
the Southside Chamber. She and I worked together on a storyboard with Texas Public Radio called Worth Repeating.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And so we met about 2 years ago through that connection, maybe a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But they became very friendly with Jesse and Kevin.
Yep.
And so Jesse and Kevin became very close. And at Luchador, they decided that they wanted to think about, creating a different business.
Oh.
It was after a few drinks. Me and
always
Kevin
helps.
just started talking,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I would love to open up something like this," and I said, "Let's do it. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
It's fun."
So they went out looking at different buildings, and they found 310 Riverside. And it was odd because I had gotten a letter from Andy Rodriguez, who is, she used to be on the Mayor's Commission on the
Yes.
Status of Women with
I know
me.
Andy, okay.
Right. And so she was the mayoral appointee, and I was D3. And she really, really enjoyed Luchador with James Lifshitz.
Yep.
And so Andy wrote me a postcard and told me that she had this building she wanted me to look at, and she wanted us to create a proposal and give them an idea of what we wanted
Yeah.
to put in that building.
Right.
So we created a proposal. What we had envisioned was a little different from Luchador.
Sure.
So Luchador is a bar, straight cocktails,
Sure.
beer, wine. With Tandem and with the space that was available, what we really wanted was to provide something a little different that was more community-based for the Southside.
Gotcha.
And we thought about how everybody has a coffee shop. They have a place where they can go and they can
They're coming
do
up more
some
and more.
work.
Yeah.
They have access to Wi-Fi. They can spend hours there just sitting, feeling calm. There's nothing like that on the south side of San Antonio.
Sure.
I mean, we do have great coffee shops,
Right.
but the spaces are smaller and they're not really amenable to that type of environment.
Sure.
So what we wanted to do was create that coffee shop feel, and we wanted to provide beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
We want to provide some lighter fare, so we're working on menus that are different for the south side. So we want more smoothies, salads, things that are,
A new
offered
menu,
other
a new
places,
menu,
right?
if you
And
will.
so and so we want to go ahead and provide that as well,
And a bodega. We're
And-
considering a bit bodega.
right? And
That's
so
the really good idea.
right,
We
and
saw
so
that.
and
do
it
well
was
with Tandem.
so funny because this was all a proposal pre-pandemic.
Sure.
Because we had traveled and seen bodegas work really, really well in spaces like ours
They
where
do.
there's limited access to grocery.
Right.
And so we wanted to create a bodega.
Yeah. No, that's
And
great.
so when James saw the proposal, he was excited and he wanted us to go
Well, and
ahead.
it makes sense for the space that he has across the street, right?
Right. And that's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted to be able to provide something to the residents that would be comfortable and feel great and things. And for us, it was the Southside doesn't have this, and we deserve it just like everybody else
Absolutely,
does.
absolutely.
And for people that don't know about
Sure.
the across the street, you want to
the South Side.
Southside
Southside
living maker
living.
spaces.
It's a big deal. I
They're
mean,
beautiful.
And how about this too? That concept might be underappreciated us here in San Antonio, but that's something that is taking off across the nation. These maker spaces where you can live and you can build your product and potentially sell
Right.
it even from that same storefront. So to
Yes,
speak.
you can.
Right.
And just so people can know, on the podcast, we work hand in hand with Jeff Wheeler, who is an amazing curator, also an amazing artist himself.
There's a scene happening there.
Yes.
There's a scene.
We are carrying a lot of their artwork there at Luchador. Tandem. Tandem, and you can
do a rotating show.
Yeah, I know, right? And people can go in there and they can look at the artwork and they can also purchase it. And Jeff Wheeler will come over and he'll.
That's incredible. And again, not only a
it's
bodega,
about the partnerships.
but
Yeah.
it's
a partnership.
Now
so,
it's even an art shop also.
The
Right.
Living Maker, Southside Living Maker spaces have their own gallery. And so it's not, just like you said, it's unique to San Antonio because what real apartment complexes and lofts have a gallery, right? No. And so that they even have a curator and that they have a gallery. It's a beautiful space.
Great vibe.
Great vibe.
Lifshitz has done a really great job with that space.
Well, and you've seen him up and down the river reach more and more investment, and so we're certainly lucky to have him. Especially that you can tell he's trying to help build the fabric and the character that is ours. That just make it who we are, not so much change it, but make it more who we are.
I mean, I think it was important that he reached out to Southsiders to ask for a project.
That's awesome.
I mean, he didn't look outside. He didn't look to different areas.
That's not what people think of when they think of developers, right?
Exactly.
They think, oh, is this guy going to come make money? No, this is create an ecosystem of money for all of us to succeed. And so that's incredible. Well, so Tandem too, I know there's I guess a branding element to it that it's an easy place to bike to, and there's certainly a lot of biking activity in that area. And you have a big old bike rack, right?
We do. That one of the Toyota welders made for Kevin. It's really
nice.
great.
Okay. So you did that on his spare time, I'm assuming. Oh, wow.
And we should take a minute to discuss that there are multiple partners involved.
Please.
We've got Sarah Breseno Garish and her husband Kevin Garish. We've got Rachel and Jaime Bruno. We have Billy Mendoza, who is with us at Luchador.
Okay.
And then we also have Curtis Collins and Noah Masters, who were both general managers at restaurants and event spaces prior. So we've got that knowledge.
And Adrian Sanchez.
And then we have Adrian Sanchez.
That's a team.
Yeah, it's a team.
That's cool.
And it's a real team effort. And it's been great to see how we've developed along the way.
Well, and that whole saying, if you want to go, if you want to get somewhere, how's it go far, go alone? I mean, if you go, you can go further with some folks, and so you guys have collectively invested in this idea, and we're lucky to have you guys.
Thank you.
Care about your own backyard,
we're
so
excited.
to speak. Yeah.
And if we can also mention the coffee that we're carrying.
Yeah. Well, I know about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Have you already talked about this?
No.
We were going to get
there.
there.
Okay, great. So we do carry dark matter coffee. Now, it is not from San Antonio, but there's a reason why we chose dark matter coffee.
It's a special product, right?
It's a special place in our hearts, and it's our family. Our family, dark matter coffee has been a part of our family for
10 years.
Yeah, well, longer, maybe longer.
Well, they've been open 10 years.
Yeah. As family,
Like legitimately, like
My brother
okay.
is he moved over to Chicago and he met Jay Diaz and the rest of the crew from Dark Matter, and he just became a great friend of theirs. They all started roasting their coffee.
They started just sampling 10 years ago,
and then they opened up shops, and now they have 8
locations.
8 locations. They're working in chocolate now. They're working in beer. They're working on all that stuff. So I said, one day I was like, I want to work with my brother.
Somebody was going to.
Yeah.
Might as well be you.
And that's Aaron Campos, Jay Diaz, Dark Matter Coffee. Look them up. Follow them.
And so you guys are serving.
They're a great product. Yeah. So our first few trips up to Chicago, they were starting out and they had 2 shops.
Yeah.
And so when they were up there in Chicago, getting these shops, they were gaining notoriety that a lot of shops don't have. So if you go back to their profile, they were one of the first in the country to do barreling. So they did barrel roasting, and so they were they would use bourbon barrels. They would use whatever type of whiskey liquor barrels that they wanted to find, and they started barrel roasting their product. It actually gave Aaron a spot on the Thrill List 30 under 30 a couple years back because of the fact that he. Out of nowhere.
Innovative. It sounds innovative.
Never had been a roaster before, decided to pick it up, give it a try, and has succeeded far beyond any expectation.
Oh, yeah.
So they've done now these bourbon barrel roasts or barrel roasts.
Gotcha.
They have a full-time cold brew facility that they've taken the cold brew and they've mixed it with things that you would never think would taste good, like Malort, which is a disgusting.
I don't even know what it is.
Malort is a prohibition style liquor that was created up in the Northwest.
Wow.
In
And
a bathtub.
it's terrible. But when you taste it in the cold brew, it's amazing. The
it's really
things that
good.
they do with their roasts and with their blends is just
It's beyond
phenomenal.
scientific. It's beyond
Yes.
culinary. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It
It's
really
magic.
is.
It sounds like.
And every single shop is different and it's magical. So
beautiful.
they work with rock groups. So they've worked with Megadeth, Judas Priest. They've done a Guns N'
Metallica.
Roses blend. They've done all of these different blends with a bunch of rock groups. They partner with Riot Fest every year. They are genuinely a vibe and a really good product.
Sounds
so
very
that
much
they
like
have,
and creative. It sounds
It's
like
very creative.
Yeah.
So if you look
Extremely.
at their what is it, packaging?
their packaging.
Their packaging of each one of the coffees. The artwork on there is phenomenal. It goes really well with what we're trying to do over there. Bring the artwork.
It does.
Oh my God, it's
I got
beautiful.
You. Well,
man.
a vibe again. A
Yeah.
vibe.
It's another
Yeah, that's
So we're very fortunate to have them. We're the only location in outside of Chicago
Yeah.
that is actually brewing their beans as a coffee shop.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the first partnership that they have outside of that area.
Well, there you go. That's a bit to brag about.
Yeah.
And especially you guys, the Campos is
Yeah.
good on you guys for
Thank you.
being obviously spirited entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
By
Where did that
accident.
come
It's
from?
accident. No, actually, it came from my dad. My dad was he had his own business. I didn't want to have any of my own businesses.
Sure, it's
at
scary.
all.
It's scary.
Yeah, I was like, I would want to work for somebody and just be comfortable.
Sure.
I don't want to do anything that I have to actually physically do with my hands.
It becomes
and
a rat race.
think,
Yeah,
yeah.
it becomes a rat race too.
But it was an accident that we got into Luchador, and I am very thankful for that accident.
That's
I am
great,
so
man.
thankful for it.
Well, and we're thankful for that accident too.
Yeah.
Well, because again, creating vibes. You guys were one of those flagships that was kind of establishing that south of Southtown look, and so then in the area, then other folks started popping up. And I remember there was also like on First Fridays there was this vibe coming on too that this area was becoming a little bit more cool than that other area that used to be a cool area. No disrespect to the
No,
Southtown,
none at all.
Oh,
None
no.
at all.
We love our community
Yeah.
and we love the Southtown community. A lot of the business owners in the area have been nothing but supportive of us, and so we felt that.
Yeah.
That was really important for
And
us.
for you to notice that,
Yeah.
there were tons of days, and we did it 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Everything that you saw there, it was 3 weeks in advance of preparation
And planning.
and planning and getting and making sure it was going to happen and making sure, and then it would happen, and that night was magical every single time.
It was fun.
God.
And Frankie, I'm sorry to see what happened with his location. And I know he's trying to get creative with the other plot of land.
The Brady's Marine
The
area.
Brady's Marine area. So.
That's all I've ever known it as, the Brady's
Yeah.
Marine
Well,
lot.
I think he's going to keep it kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great sign.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
So hopefully he can get that going.
I loved working hand in hand with that guy.
Yeah,
I
he
loved working with him.
Frankie was great, and I know, like I said, he's not leaving the area, but this pandemic wasn't certainly easy on his
Wasn't
situation.
easy.
No, but Luchador, Tandem. You guys gonna start another one? Any plans on something else?
I think we need a break.
Right
Let's
now,
see how we're doing.
right now, no, I don't. I'm looking into doing a podcast.
Okay.
I am. So that's my next little.
That's why
venture.
you asked me so many questions. Huh?
I am. I'm looking at all your equipment right now. But yeah, that's one thing I want to do, and I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do it on right now.
Sure.
But when it comes out, I think it's gonna be a big one for San Antonio.
That'd be great.
I really do.
No, and these voices matter, and certainly where our chamber's been around since 1982, and I feel I'm very proud of the history and legacy of our story is that we have been a very loud voice for the Southside that has been maybe underappreciated, underserved, underrepresented. You're not seeing that anymore. We're all speaking very loudly and proudly together and showing really what we have to offer. And yeah, I mean, the more the merrier on these podcasts, especially if we're talking about the Southside. We need it more than ever. Any thoughts that you want to share from the year that was and maybe some optimistic message, if you will? I know you guys are also involved in the community beyond owning a business.
Yeah.
And I know there's things that you guys are pretty passionate about, that you care about. Anything you want to share?
Go ahead.
2020 was very, very difficult. As a business owner and as a mom and as an employee, it's been a lot of trial and error and, trying to make things work. I believe truly that we were very, very fortunate in the fact that we had James and Gil as landlords who worked with us to ensure that we were going to stay afloat during the pandemic. And so we would not have gotten where we were without the help of community and with the help of the people that we really were responsible to.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I feel very fortunate to have that type of relationship, because had we not had that type of relationship, we'd be just like Frankie, and I don't know, how to speak to their relationship, but I do know that for us, it made all the difference in us in making or breaking us.
Right.
When it comes to Tandem, we're really, really fortunate to have the space, and it's so vast. It really is. It's 3,000 square feet of building space, and then it's got a huge outdoor area.
Well, I'm going to bring that up now that you mentioned it, if I can interrupt you. I'm serve on the Historic Design Review Commission. I know you were trying to get
a patio,
a temporary patio that they made difficult. Not without the process is in place for a reason, obviously, right? And what I voiced my concern at that time was, this is a temporary structure. It's not going to be there forever as far as the patio. And I know you had your challenges getting that done. Any plans now? I know that was the limitation that was unfortunate that you were dealing with. Are you still planning on doing some kind of outdoor?
We do still want to resurrect something outdoors. We would like it to be a temporary structure still at the same.
Well, look, I'm going to say something maybe you can't, that I got frustrated at the time. And I do work for the chamber, and we do work in these spaces too. Where I was very incredibly frustrated is, did you see the building before, right? Like,
yes.
That's where
it was called the Landing Strip.
Yeah,
yes.
Shout out.
And it was a fun place. I'm sure people had a lot of fun at, so to speak, in the Southside. But it was run down. It was abandoned, if you will, and every bit of care you've put into it, where I struggled with, and I was maybe frustrated for you guys, was like, they're only trying to make it better. What's the problem here?
And we
it was really
respect the process, right? We respect the process, and we want to go through, and that's why there is no structure up, because we do want to go ahead and make sure that we do it the appropriate way with the appropriate channels. But if the HDRC did decide to come in and look at what we've done with the space, they would be very appreciative. Jesse and I joke, so Tandem prior was a strip club.
Yeah, you just said
the landing strip.
And Luchador was also a facility where people took their clothes off.
Procreated.
And so,
business
we always said, just give us whatever business it was that was a former strip club, and we'll figure out how to.
We're almost like the Statue of Liberty.
You'll make it like family-like.
You'll make it
family-like.
We'll make it
give us your
that,
strip clubs. We'll turn them into something nice.
We'll turn them into something nice. But we always, when we come in, we want to give something that's a little bit that has a good feel to it, that you want to come to, that,
Well, and that's where I was going with this, is that I'm sure most, if not the more traditional families on the South Side maybe didn't want those type of businesses down here. And so, your business is certainly something that anyone can have fun at. Family.
And there's nothing wrong with strip clubs. It's just funny. It's just funny to me that we've had two that we've renovated. I think it's hilarious.
No, don't get me wrong. There's
so the outdoor space is really, and the space inside the building during pandemic are really, really places that provide for the community and have a little bit of a safety net. So we have a ton, I don't even know how many tables we have outside.
Outside?
It's a lot.
20.
We have a lot of tables.
You're right by that river bend.
We're right by the river bend.
There's going to be a future where I know there's going to continue to be improvements.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's going to be beautiful.
The bikers I mentioned.
Yes. Right.
I hope
bicyclists.
That's
yes.
right.
Well, bicyclists.
Bikers are different. Bicyclists.
Bikers wear the leather jackets.
Yes.
Bicyclists wear the
lycra. Both are welcome.
But everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. But speaking on that bicycling, they all start right up the street.
Yeah, no, I've seen them, man. They go, and some folks go from Roosevelt, where you are, all the way down to Mission Espada,
and then
back.
right back.
I'm like, how? But I'll try maybe one time.
We've had a couple of bicyclists start there, take off, come back. So it's really great, and we're hoping more people come out.
And when you guys were at Luchador too, they jump off like on a first Thursday or something like that. Yeah.
We wouldn't get notified, and they would just show up 50 of them, 100 of them, and one person in there just handing beer.
They had the lights and everything.
Great.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool. And hopefully, they're going to continue to get back out there now that this is all breaking. Well, guys, I thank you for sharing some.
Oh, wait. One more thing before. If anybody out there is ever thinking to themselves, hey, I want to open up something, I want to do something, and they feel like they just can't do it. Listen, we have gone through so many things, me and Vanessa and Billy, and you can do it. It just takes a lot of work, and you have to overcome all those fears.
Your own doubts.
Yes, your doubts and your fears, whatever you have hidden in there, just tell it, shh.
I can agree with that.
I can do something.
No, and I appreciate that message. I do think it's important to share with our, especially Southsiders, if you're interested in doing a business.
Yes, do it.
Those self-doubts are not something that should be your limitation. Somebody else is always going to have doubts, right?
Right.
Like, oh, maybe you should, maybe you should. Well, I always like to say, if I was depending on someone else to get it done, then it's not going to get done, right?
No, it's never.
So if you have a dream,
Do it
you have
yourself.
a vision, do it yourself.
And San Antonio has a lot of really great organizations that are willing to help with funding and assistance on that type of stuff.
Absolutely. We're one of them. And I want to thank you guys for being members of our chamber. I'm certainly excited to be back getting out to Luchador and then Tandem now that you guys got that going. Yeah. Shout out Sarah and Rachel because they are big friends of the chamber and Kevin. I want to thank everybody for joining us from our audience. You have been given the business from the South San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us.